All right, welcome back. Game number 3 currently underway. Let's turn the music back on. I don't know why that got turned off. We're on Ruins of Saras now, one of the bigger maps here on Legacy of the Void. And spawning in the top left corner of the map, a 4-player spawn. Going to find it hard to proxy. It's going to be the blue Zerg Acer's Bly. And his opponent in the bottom left. Just had Series 1-1 with a really good defense. It's going to be the Terran player top. Now, you know, one of the big things about Bly is he is kind of predictable in some regards. You can always expect roaches out of him. You can always expect him to go certain directions with tech paths and ways to play. For top to have blind countered him, and I really want to stress blind countered, there was no scouting at all out of top. That was really well played. It's such a hard... It's a hard thing to do to beat somebody like Bly, but once you figure it out, I feel like you've kind of locked it in, and now it's going to be on Bly to change his playstyle if he doesn't want to totally get wrecked by top over and over again. But anyways, even if he is predictable though, sorry, I was reading something, again, this whole not being able to stream live thing's a bit irritating. Even though he is predictable, that doesn't always stop Bly. Again, things like Nidus Worms can really catch Terran players off guard on big maps like this especially. He lucks out and gets the scout right away on his opponent. I mean, there's a lot of ways that Bly could still play this out, even if top knows exactly what's going on. But the biggest scout for Bly is he does see the factory, so he knows it's a one-base opener. And that's not going to be that really fast CC. So he's going to have to be a little bit careful how he plays. Now, when I say this, I mean like taking 2 bases and not taking a faster third, getting faster gases to get faster mutalisks, worrying about those tank drops, getting heavier queens. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to deal with it. But the queen count is definitely one of the most, that I would consider at least. When I play a lot of Archon mode with Zombie Grub, for example, guys, and yo, shout out to the fact we finally hit Grandmasters! Well, I do a lot of Archon mode with Zombie Grub. Yo, I'm the dedicated micro player, and I sit there and I dance with the tanks all day, and no matter how good you are at control, the reality is those queens will almost always get at least a shot off on your medevac before they have to run away. They'll transfuse, and once that medevac goes down, the tank drop stops. So again, it's a situation where if top's going to go for tanks, and it looks like he is, for Bly's sake, without faster mutalisks, he will need heavier queens. I do like that he's investing in more, actually, so he's going to have at least 4 in total. That should actually be enough to deal with the 1 medevac. If it gets to the point of 2, you're going to need a little bit more, but we'll see how far this gets. Keep in mind, top is still 1-basing this, and 1-base Terran is not what it used to be. You don't have mules to call down, you're not just getting so many minerals. And the worst part is, the further you fall behind from this, like the longer it takes him to get SCVs out as Bly continues to make drones, the harder it's going to be to catch up. Again, without the band-aid of mules, with larva injects being nerfed, with chrono boost being gone, anything you do that involves having less workers makes it harder to get more workers. And that sounds a little redundant and silly to phrase it like that, but recovery is a hell of a thing. But gonna see this drop. Tank gonna have to turn around. This is great for Bly, actually, even if he loses the Lings like this. Obviously, you want to get a lot of kills, and that would have been fantastic, but it buys him just that little bit of extra time. Liberator's gonna be following this up too, gonna be certainly annoying to deal with. I think the Hellions might even be the most deadly, but Bly's going for more Lings, and if he can get on top of these Marines, if he gets on top of the Hellions early, this might not be so problematic. But right now, that tank drop is gonna be the biggest pain in his ass. A big part of spreading the creep like this too within your own main is because he wants to be able to get the mobility to catch that tank, to get that extra shot off on the medevac. Can be all the world of difference sometimes. But he gets on top of the Marines. Hellions are not quite here yet, so the timing works out pretty well here for Bly. Gets off the Marines to go for the Hellions though. That's a questionable choice. Might lose a queen for this. Again, trying to pick off that medevac. Good focus fire out of Bly so far. And with only 1 Hellion on the ground, this really isn't too scary. There's a transfuse available too for these ladies should they get too low. Top's also getting to the point where you can't really keep dancing around with this tank. One of the things, of course, you want to try and do is split the damage. So the tank soaks some, the medevac doesn't take all of it, but it's not always the possibility. Takes down the Hellion for another tank shot. Still continue to spread creep, and by the way, more Lings are on the way. So Bly is, I think, okay for the time being, frankly. Getting on top of the tank like this, big threat, picks up that medevac, not quite going to lose it. 14 health, though, should probably go back home, and Bly successfully defended this without going for mutas. But instead going heavy on the queens. Ooh. But he's going heavy on the queens, and he has a plan to use those queens. Top is still 1-basing it. Top is still pretty all in with this. Bly's plan's going to harass with the Ling's going to drop, be annoying. Wants to distract top from doing anything like scouting and realizing that a Nidus Worm is in play. Now it looks like the drones were transferred out of the main. Ooh, those queens though miscontrolled. He needs to keep them alive. Nice transfuse. Barely goes down to that Liberator. The Spore Crawler, of course, can't be shot by the Liberators to move this in, but I think the Liberator still arranges it where it's currently sitting. Some of the lanes do get towards that main from that drop. Even just picking off the Hellions, anything to reduce the defenses so that Night Swarm can get off without a hitch. Night Swarm is coming down, by the way. Bly doesn't have a lot of roaches to go into this, but he doesn't really need a lot of roaches. I don't love that he's bleeding out queens, though. That's 2 queens to go down to that Liberator, absolutely unnecessarily. Another transfuse is unnecessary, doesn't get it. Losing all these queens takes away so much power from his push. He will clean up the siege tank, though, and that's going to be nice. Hellions coming from the counterattack, and the roaches unload towards that main. Both players in a bit of trouble. Liberator here on the natural, and Bly doesn't really have anywhere he can safely mine at the moment. Gonna lose this queen in the main, gonna lose the drones that are transferring back. Roaches, though, are doing a lot on the other side of the field, and honestly, a Liberator at home would be the best friend right now. Liberators, though, could also be countered. Bly can simply morph in 3 Ravagers if this gets out of hand. Doesn't have the money for it right this instant, but it's the path he'll want to go. Now he's vanguarding the ramp because he doesn't want top mining, and top can't drop mules. Hoping to rely on this Liberator, but Bly can dance beside the circle all day. Roaches can also take 2 hits from a Liberator. Not a lot of units can do that. Liberator hits so damn hard, it's like 85 damage a shot base. Yeah, there you go. SV's heading back to mining. No burrow for Bly in this one, so these roaches are sadly going to go down. No quick heal tactics. Because he wasn't mining at home, he also doesn't have really reinforcements to send to this side of the field. Definitely some more queens, another roach, anything would help a ton. A couple more roaches now coming out. If he can crush enough of Top's SCVs here, Bly's not too bad of a spot. Keep in mind, Top's down to 7 workers, 5 workers, and Bly's got 21 behind this. He's not in a great spot himself, but he's in a much better spot than Top. And remember, the emphasis here is that there are no more mules in Legacy of the Void as of this current version of the game. Was trying to make some Ravagers by the looks of it to snipe off that, there you go, trying to snipe off those Liberators, but unfortunately in doing so, does kind of expose himself to the Hellbats. Oh, these don't quite finish in time. You need 3 shots from a Ravager to actually kill that Liberator. Kind of annoying. They are quite fast though, as we see, so start trying to kite around. Gonna make Hellions. Hellbats, too slow to catch these. Some damage is better than no damage, I guess. But still, at the end of the day, Top is down to 5 workers. Bly's down to 18. I think Bly's in a better spot. As long as he can get a Ravager or 2 back at home, he stops all threat of any counterattack from Liberators. And hell, he's actually kind of winning this game on the other side of the field. Roaches do unburrow, and again, he needs to keep 3 of them, just so he can get those Ravagers out, if at all possible. But scans go down. Good game is called as well. Bly will take game number 3, leading the series now 2-1.